Check it out.
Jerky?
Yeah.
Hey, just put it back in the box.
You'd skip a meal if you forgot your wallet at home. Meanwhile, someone with absolutely $0 in their pocket is about to eat 3 times today without stealing, begging, or dumpster diving. How is that even possible? Most of us wake up and stumble to the fridge without thinking twice. But what if there was no fridge, no kitchen, no food at all? Where would your next meal come from? Welcome to a world operating right beneath your nose. A world with its own rules, schedules, and survival strategies that most people will never see or understand. The Circuit, a full-time job nobody talks about in any major American city. Dozens of soup kitchens operate on rotating schedules. And the people who use them, they've got the whole thing memorized like a bus timetable. Monday breakfast at St. Mary's, Tuesday lunch at the Methodist Church downtown, Wednesday dinner at the community shelter on 5th Street. It's basically a full-time job just knowing where to show up. But here's what most people don't realize. These meals aren't scraps thrown on a plate. We're talking cafeteria-style service with protein, starch, vegetables, and bread. Honestly, it's nutritionally comparable to what your kid eats at school lunch. Sometimes better, depending on the school. Here's the catch, though. You can't just waltz in at serving time and expect a seat. Regulars arrive 30 to 60 minutes early. Why? Because most kitchens operate first come, first served with limited portions. Show up late and you're watching other people eat. That's it. Game over. Come back tomorrow. And the numbers here are staggering. Approximately 46,000 meal programs operate across the United States. Together, they serve over 2 billion meals annually. That's billion with a B. Think about that for a second. 2 billion meals. That's almost 6 meals for every single person in America, all given away for free every single year. Now, some kitchens come with strings attached. You might have to sit through a 15-minute religious service before anyone touches a fork. Some folks are fine with that. Others skip those spots entirely and hit the secular alternatives instead. There's also an informal hierarchy nobody talks about. Veterans often get priority seating. Families with children move to the front of the line at certain facilities. Single adults without those designations, they learn real quick which spots treat everyone equal. The soup kitchen circuit is survival strategy number 1. It's reliable, it's structured, and for millions of Americans, it's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But soup kitchens close eventually, and when they do, that's when things get interesting. The $43 billion secret. Here's where things get interesting and a little gross, but mostly interesting. Grocery stores in America throw away 43 billion pounds of food every single year. That's not a typo. Billion with a B. Most of it perfectly fine to eat, just past some arbitrary sell-by date that doesn't actually mean the food is bad. Experienced homeless folks have turned this waste into a survival strategy. They call it dumpster diving. And honestly, it's more organized than most people's meal planning ever is. Here's the thing. Different stores dump different items on predictable schedules. Bakeries toss bread at closing time like clockwork. Grocery stores clear out produce on Sunday nights because fresh deliveries arrive Monday morning. Once you know the pattern, it's basically a very smelly grocery list. And not all dumpsters are created equal. The premium targets? Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. These places have separate bins for discarded food versus actual garbage. It's almost civilized. Now, you might be thinking, this has to be illegal, right? Nope. Supreme Court ruling from 1988 made it legal in all 50 states. The court basically said once you throw something away, you've abandoned it. Fair game. Those stores can still hit you with trespassing if they catch you on their property, but the act of taking discarded food? Completely legal. The fines can be surprisingly good too. Sealed yogurts, wrapped deli meats, bagged salads. Why were they tossed? Sometimes one item in a 6-pack got damaged. The whole thing goes in the bin. Corporate policy. But here's the most fascinating part. Winter is actually prime diving season. I know, sounds backwards, right? Cold weather acts as natural refrigeration. That dumpster becomes a giant outdoor fridge. Food stays safer longer. Mother Nature providing the walk-in cooler that homeless people obviously don't have. It's a bizarre system when you think about it. Stores throwing away perfectly good food, hungry people fishing it back out. Seems like there should be a better way. The kitchen problem food banks try to solve this problem before the dumpster stage, but they come with their own challenges. Here's where things get complicated. Food banks aren't soup. Kitchens, they don't hand you a plate. They hand you groceries, raw groceries. We're talking canned goods, pasta, rice, peanut butter, and sometimes even frozen meat. Sounds great, right? Well, there's a catch, a big one. You need a kitchen to cook this stuff. And last time I checked, park benches don't come with stovetops. So what happens? Trading. Lots of trading. A homeless person might swap a bag of uncooked rice for a can of fruit cocktail, trade pasta for crackers, exchange that frozen chicken breast for something they can actually eat right now. It's like a barter economy operating in plain sight. And honestly, it's pretty ingenious. But let's back up. Most food pantries require zero proof of address. This matters more than you'd think. Government programs want utility bills, lease agreements, bank statements. Food pantries? They just want to feed people. Walk in, grab a number, get groceries. That's it. The timing game gets strategic, though. Right after Thanksgiving, donations spike by 300% at many locations. Everyone cleans out their pantry, feels generous, drops off those cans of cranberry sauce they bought in 2019. Holiday guilt is basically a food source. And here's the weird part. You can't just hit the same pantry every week. Most limit visits to once per month per person. So experienced homeless individuals rotate between multiple pantries across different neighborhoods. Monday, downtown. Wednesday, across the river. Friday, in the suburbs. It's basically a logistics operation. Mobile food pantries changed everything recently. These trucks and vans now park under bridges, in tent city areas, and in low-income neighborhoods. The food comes to people who can't travel, but raw groceries still need cooking somehow. And that's where homeless people have developed some surprisingly creative solutions that would make MacGyver jealous. The fast food algorithm. Fast food restaurants throw away enough food every day to feed a small army. And some homeless people have figured out exactly when that army gets fed. Here's something most people don't realize. Mobile orders get abandoned constantly. Someone orders through the app, never shows up, and that burger just sits there. 15 minutes. 20 minutes. Eventually, it's trash. But experienced homeless individuals know which managers will hand over those orphan meals instead of tossing them. It's like adopting a puppy nobody wanted, except the puppy is a Big Mac. Timing is everything, though. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, they all have strict rules about heat lamp limits. Food sits for 15 to 30 minutes, then it's done. Gone. But here's the thing. Closing time at these places is basically a free buffet, if you ask politely. A guy walks up to a Wendy's at 10:55 p.m., asks nicely, and walks away with 3 bags of food that would have hit the dumpster at 11. Then there's the water cup strategy. You ask for a free water cup at the counter. Totally normal request, but some folks fill it at the soda fountain when nobody's watching. Is it technically theft? Yeah. Does it happen thousands of times daily across America? Also, yeah, Starbucks operates on a whole different level. Baristas reportedly give away about 25% of unsold pastries at closing to regular homeless visitors. Not officially, just human kindness beating corporate policy. And the weird part? The condiment station might be the most underrated survival tool in fast food. Those little ketchup packets, mayonnaise, salt, sugar, they're free calories. Some homeless individuals collect handfuls as supplements between actual meals. A sugar packet has 15 calories. Grab 20 of those and you've got yourself a snack. Not a tasty one, but survival isn't about taste. The oldest safety net religion has been feeding hungry people for thousands of years, way before government programs existed. Sikh Gurdwaras operate something called Langar. It's a free community. Kitchen open to absolutely anyone. Hindu, Christian, atheist, doesn't matter. Walk in, sit down, eat hot vegetarian food. No sermon required, no questions asked. The Golden Temple in India serves over 100,000 meals daily. American Gurdwaras follow the same tradition on a smaller scale. Catholic parishes have turned sandwich making into an art form. Volunteers gather on Saturday mornings, assemble hundreds of bagged lunches, then hand them out from church parking lots. But the Hare Krishna temples might be the most reliable option. Their Los Angeles location feeds over 1,500 homeless people every Sunday. Free vegetarian plates, good portions, and unlike your aunt's cooking, The food is actually seasoned properly. Mosques distribute zakat food boxes, especially during Ramadan, but many continue year-round in urban areas because the need doesn't take a holiday. The real advantage of faith-based feeding? No paperwork. Government programs want ID. They want proof of income. They want your life story. Churches just want to feed you. It's refreshingly simple. And homeless individuals have figured out the system. Some attend 3 or 4 different religious feeding programs in a single day. Breakfast at the Baptist church, lunch at the Catholic parish, dinner at the Gurdwara. It requires strategic travel between neighborhoods, but the calories add up. These organizations exist specifically to help people in need. They're not checking databases or running background checks. The variety matters too. Different faiths mean different cuisines. Indian food Monday, sandwiches Tuesday, rice and beans Wednesday. But what happens when you can't get to any of these places? When you're stuck in an area with no soup kitchens, no churches, no food banks nearby? That's when people start looking at the ground beneath their feet. The urban harvest cities are basically grocery stores with no checkout line. You just need to know where to look. Urban fruit trees are everywhere. Fig trees in abandoned lots, apple trees in public parks, citrus trees lining sidewalks in warmer states, mulberry trees that nobody touches because housed people think the berries will stain their nice clothes. Well, when you're hungry, stained fingers are a pretty small price to pay, and someone actually mapped all of it. The website Falling Fruit has cataloged over 1.5 million public food sources worldwide. Fruit trees, nut trees, edible plants, all in urban environments. It's like Google Maps for hungry people. But the real foraging knowledge goes deeper than fruit trees. Dandelion greens, purslane, lamb's quarters. These weeds growing in vacant lots and park edges are completely edible. Nutritious, actually. The stuff landscapers spray poison on is the same stuff fancy restaurants charge $18 for in a salad. Ironic, right? College campuses are particularly goldmine territory. Universities love planting ornamental fruit trees because they look pretty. Students walk right past ripe persimmons and figs every single day, too busy staring at their phones to notice free food hanging 3 feet above their heads. Meanwhile, homeless individuals harvest what everyone else ignores. Then there's fishing. Certain urban waterways don't require licenses. Some homeless camps near rivers pull catfish, carp, and crawfish straight out of the water. Free protein. No receipt needed. Community gardens offer another opportunity through gleaning policies. After the official growing season ends, some gardens let anyone harvest whatever's left behind. Tomatoes still ripening on the vine. Squash that got overlooked. Peppers turning red after the gardeners went home for winter. Nature provides, always has. We just forgot how to pay attention. The kindness economy. Nobody tells you about being homeless. Strangers feed you more than you'd ever expect. Street corner sign holders have figured this out. Food donations outnumber cash donations by roughly 3 to 1. Sandwiches are the most common offering. It's like everyone's mom collectively decided that a hungry person needs a turkey club more than $5. And honestly, they're not wrong. But there's a newer phenomenon that's kind of beautiful. Blessing boxes. These are small outdoor pantries that neighborhoods stock with food. The motto is simple. Take what you need, leave what you can. Over 100,000 of these little wooden boxes have popped up across the country. Now, restaurant closing time is prime positioning. Diners walking out often have takeout boxes they don't actually want to carry home. Position yourself politely near the exit, and you'd be surprised how many people hand over their leftover steak. Their loss is literally your gain. Food delivery apps created something unexpected too. Drivers sometimes can't complete deliveries. Wrong address, customer doesn't answer. Instead of returning the food, some drivers hand it to homeless people. They pass. It's like a weird modern lottery nobody planned. The real magic happens with regulars. Someone who sits in the same spot daily often develops actual relationships with commuters. Office workers start recognizing them. First, it's eye contact, then a nod. Then suddenly, Karen from accounting is bringing an extra breakfast sandwich every Tuesday. Human connection disguised as a muffin. Wedding receptions and corporate events generate mountains of uneaten food. Entire trays of catered food sometimes get donated directly to shelters or handed to homeless individuals nearby. One person's boring company lunch is another person's feast. People want to help, They just need an easy opportunity. Cooking without a kitchen. You can find food pretty easily. Cooking it? That's the real puzzle, but homeless people have figured this out too, and honestly, some of their methods are genius. Sterno cans are the secret weapon. Those little fuel cans you see at catered events, keeping meatballs warm. They cost about $2 and burn for 2 hours straight. That's enough time to heat canned soup, boil water for coffee, or warm up leftovers from a soup kitchen. It's like having a tiny stove that fits in your pocket. Then there's solar cooking. I know it sounds like some hippie nonsense, but it actually works. You put food in a dark container, stick that inside a clear plastic bag, and leave it in direct sunlight. On a hot day, temperatures inside can hit 200 degrees. That's enough to cook rice or heat beans. Takes patience, sure, but when you've got nothing but time, patience isn't the problem. Many homeless camps operate like tiny outdoor restaurants. One person owns a propane burner and becomes the community chef. Everyone chips in ingredients from food pantries or dumpster finds. Shared meals mean nobody starves alone. Public parks with barbecue grills. Homeless folks use those too. The trick is going on weekdays when families aren't having cookouts. Monday through Thursday, those grills are basically free outdoor stoves. And get this, some people living in their cars have figured out that car batteries can power small electric kettles. Others wrap food in aluminum foil and place it directly on a running engine. The heat from the motor cooks the food while they're warming up the vehicle, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. The creativity is honestly impressive. These aren't just survival tactics. They're engineering solutions born from necessity. The smartphone revolution. Homeless people with smartphones isn't some luxury. It's survival equipment. Apps like Too Good To Go sell restaurant surplus at 70% off. But here's where it gets interesting. Some charities now donate gift cards specifically for these discount food apps. So a homeless person can grab a mystery bag from Panera for $2 instead of 12. That's restaurant quality food for pocket change. Then there's Food Finder and Plentiful. These apps show free meal locations with real-time updates. No more guessing which soup kitchen is open on a Thursday afternoon. No more walking 3 miles to find a locked door. Just pull up the app, check the schedule, and go. But wait, how does someone without a home charge their phone? Libraries, the unsung heroes of the homeless community. Free Wi-Fi, free outlets, air conditioning in summer, heat in winter, and nobody kicks you out for sitting there all day as long as you're quiet. Some libraries even lend out portable chargers now. Food rescue organizations have gotten tech-savvy too. Volunteers use apps to coordinate picking up restaurant leftovers and delivering them directly to homeless camps. We're talking hot food from a restaurant kitchen to someone under a bridge within 2 hours. That's faster than most pizza deliveries. Mutual aid groups operate through Instagram and Facebook. Someone posts free hot meals at the corner of 5th and Main at 6 p.m. and word spreads instantly. These aren't formal organizations, just regular people pooling money, cooking food, and announcing where they'll be. Here's the unexpected truth. A charged smartphone might be more valuable than cash for someone living on the streets. Lose that phone, lose access to meals, shelters, job listings, and social services. One device connects everything. The brutal math of survival. The human body needs somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 calories daily just to maintain weight. That's not to build muscle or run marathons. That's just to exist. But most homeless individuals, they're scraping by on 1,000 to 1,200 calories on a good day. That's like trying to run your car on half a tank and wondering why it keeps stalling. And the weight loss comes fast. During those first few months on the street, before someone learns the soup kitchen schedules and dumpster timing, the pounds just melt off. Not the healthy kind of weight loss your doctor celebrates. The dangerous kind. But here's what's fascinating. The body adapts. When food becomes unpredictable, your metabolism literally slows down. Your system goes into conservation mode, burning fewer calories because it doesn't know when the next meal is coming. Sounds helpful, right? Well, it is for survival, but it creates a nasty problem later. Once someone finally gets stable housing and regular meals, their slowed metabolism makes regaining normal health incredibly difficult. The body learned to survive on scraps. It doesn't just forget that lesson overnight. Then there's the nutrition problem nobody talks about. Donated food skews heavily toward carbohydrates. Bread, pasta, canned vegetables, more bread. Easy to store, easy to donate, easy to serve. But protein, fresh produce, those are luxury items in the homeless food world. This is why experienced homeless individuals treat certain foods like treasure. Peanut butter packets get hoarded, honey gets saved, trail mix becomes trail currency. These high-calorie, shelf-stable foods pack maximum energy per ounce. And when you're carrying everything you own, efficiency matters. Some folks even time their eating strategically. Largest meal in the evening. Why? Because sleeping burns fewer calories than walking around all day. Eat big, then sleep. Maximum calorie retention. It's like they've become nutritional accountants calculating every bite. The system nobody sees. So how do homeless people eat for $0 a day? They've built an entire parallel food system that operates invisibly around us. They know which soup kitchens serve on which days. They've memorized dumpster schedules better than most people remember their own birthdays. They've cataloged every fruit tree, blessing box, and generous restaurant manager in their area. They've turned food pantry visits into a rotation schedule. They've figured out which faith communities feed without judgment. They've mastered the art of polite positioning near restaurant exits at closing time. They cook with car engines and sterno cans. They charge their phones at libraries to access apps that connect them to their next meal. They've adapted their very metabolism to survive on half the calories most of us consume without thinking. And they do all of this while carrying everything they own, while dealing with the daily stress of having nowhere to sleep, while navigating a world that often pretends they don't exist. The next time you walk past a soup kitchen, drive by a dumpster behind a grocery store, or see someone sitting on a street corner, remember this. They're not passive victims waiting for help. They're running a complex operation that would put most logistics managers to shame. They're navigating multiple systems simultaneously. They're solving problems every single day that most of us will never have to face. Surviving on the streets isn't just about finding food. It's about finding the right food at the right time in the right amounts. It's about building relationships, learning schedules, and developing skills that don't appear on any resume. It's a full-time job that pays nothing but keeps you alive. And now you know exactly how it works.